Plasticity is one of the planet's favorite packing material. He's inexpensive, pragmatic, and difficult tiring. But its strength is portion of the issue. Plasticity contamination is now an enormous question and consumers are more needing fresher alternatives. So how are companies responsible to the blood pressure? Of chocolate bar biscuits to toothpaste, razors to cigarettes, cheap cost means wrapped up in plasticity link superstore shelves about the planet. The brief duration and top circulation of these items indicate they are a main perpetrator while it comes to solitary use plasticity, packing utilized fair one day up creature deserted off. For such hard to cut downward on their use of plasticity, a travel to the superstore can be a sad case. But several manufacturers are conclusion solutions to the issue. For example, Tipa is an Israelite business who makes compostable plasticity packing. It features a much-layer movie done out of factory-based polymer production that disintegrates in the warmth and moisture of a household composting pile. UK company Snacked, that sells harvest snacks done of meal waste management, uses Tipa's bioplastic packing. Fairlove conventional packing, we include repeated layers in the movie, explains Snacked company founder Michael Minch-Dixon. A stratum we printing on and how gives all the mark data, and later the some stratum is which acts as the obstacle, so how keeps out the humidity and the air and makes certainly the meal corset crisp and secure to take. He says the content is nearly undistinguished of usual plasticity, yet though the inks and adhesive are completely household compostable. So we can put it in the composting granary, and love an orange rind it will rot in on 6 months period, he says. Mr. Minch-Dixon says the price of with the Tipa packing for his means has fall by 60% in 2 years, as more than companies include adoptee it. The tool the snacks price him fair 1p more than per paragraph to make rather than if same D utilized conventional plasticity. In October, Tipa provided $11 meter, £9 meter, in new invest. Amongst the investors was the Uruguayan Vogue planner Gabriela Hearst, who announced how she will begin with Tipa packing for her opulence clothes link. Tipa's compostable packing provides one decision. Some companies are evolving new ways of recirculation usual plasticity. UK company Recirculation Technologies has constructed a car how transform all versatile plastic in wet petroleum. The RT7000 straw and dries waste management items consisting toothpaste tubes, crispy packed and candy wrappers, later topic the plasticity to excess warmth in a camera in no oxygen supply. How allows a chemistry trial named heat crack to happen, wherever the ties in the plasticity break down downward. Recirculation Technologies head execution Adrian Griffiths says the oil house manufactured can be sold out to petrochemicals companies and rotated behind in plasticity. Nobody possession the car can rotate a waste management food in thing that attracts a top income, he says. He urged to massive produce the 20FOOT, 6 meter, tall car, that can be transportable in navigation glass, and sail it about the planet. Warehouse a installation to do 200 machines a year, he says. Every car will recirculate 7,000 tons of plasticity every year. How will add 1.4 million tons of recirculation power in the framework. To put how in background, Europe now recycles fair 3 million tons of plasticity a year. Lot more than ends up in garbage dump is incinerated or finds its way in the oceans. We foresee the car meeting near rivers in Asia, says Mr. Griffiths. We'd be capable to pay for human beings to get the plasticity out of the inland and give it to the car. Hard plasticity items, love shampoo bottles, are already wide processed. But the framework is not as effective as you might believe. While color plastic are blended along for recirculation, the resultant plasticity is really cheap grade and is not appropriate for lot uses. For the cause Belgian-based e-cover, that makes domestic clean means, done the style selection to use just whites or translucent plasticity, so how its bottles can be processed above and above once again. At the time all such color bottles that manufacturers are with, they are recyclable, but which normally happens is they are processed in garden benches or factory utensils, a complete halt in the recirculation flow, says David Kennedy of eCover. We use precise plasticity since he's the largest recyclable plasticity accessible we can discover. Lot food designers believe they include to use color plasticity to distinguish their food on the shelf, says Mr. Kennedy. Yet in fact, consumer are readily to take they don't include color plasticity, he says. Down there are some ways you can allocate yours mark, with thermo-shrinkable sleeves or with sticker tongue to do certainly yours mark stands of. If all was with translucent plasticity, how would be a Hades of a lot superior for the recirculation of plasticity globally. 11 of the planet's largest consumer goods companies, consisting Unilever, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Mars, L'Oreal, and Walmart, include incorporated to use just reused, recyclable or compostable packing by 2025. Among them, they are accountable for making 6 million tons of plasticity packing a year. Rob Opsimer at the Ellen MacArthur Basis, an organization campaign for stable industry practices, believes he's crucial how companies not just changing the style of their packing so how he's more than stable, but how they job in regional authorities to provide their packing does get processed or composted and doesn't end up in garbage dump. Companies include a part and liability to assist solve the question since they're the ones how do and use these plastic to pack their means, says Mr. Opsimer. Yet companies can't do it one. We requirement by the government activity as so.